All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're getting into the digital heart of modern ship navigation. We're talking about ECDIS, and specifically the powerful yet super simple tools that mariners use to draw invisible lines of safety right across the ocean. But first, let me ask you this. How in the world do you steer something the size of a skyscraper, floating on water, through a maze that you can't even see? Because that's the challenge every single day for a navigating officer, where the biggest, most ship-ending dangers are hiding just below the surface. And that brings us right to our first section. Before we even get to the solutions, we have to really understand the villains of this story. The shoals, the wrecks, the shallow waters, all of it, lying in wait, completely out of sight. You know, it's a simple fact, but it is absolutely crucial. Unlike on land, where you can see a mountain or a cliff coming, at sea, a sudden change in depth that could tear the bottom out of a massive vessel, well, it's completely invisible to the naked eye. This is the fundamental problem that we have to solve. So, how do we start? How do we fight back against what we can't see? Well, we begin by drawing our own digital path. This is our first tool in the ECDIS toolkit, and it's a foundational skill for mapping out a safe course on that electronic chart. Now, this tool is called a Navline, and yeah, officially it's a digital line used to mark boundaries or references, but I want you to think about it in a much, much simpler way. The core idea here is just so simple. Think of Navlines as your digital pencil. That's it. Just like you take a pencil to a paper chart to mark the edge of a channel or circle a reference point, you're doing the exact same thing here, but on a screen. It's just a simple visual note to yourself. And making one? It's incredibly easy. As you can see, it's just 3 steps. You pick the Create option, you left-click a few points on your chart, and you right-click to finish it. Boom, you're done. But a simple line is just a visual reminder, right? How do we make it an active defense? Right? Because a pencil line is just a guide. It doesn't do anything. What we really need is an active defense system, a virtual fence that's going to warn us when we're getting too close to danger. This is where we go from just making simple notes to building proactive safety. And we do that with no-go areas and no-go lines. And they mean exactly what they sound like. These are zones you define on the chart where your vessel must absolutely not go. We're talking shallow patches, restricted areas, underwater obstacles, you name it, anywhere that spells trouble. The difference between them is super simple. A no-go line is just that, a single line in the sand you shouldn't cross. A no-go area is a whole closed-off region, like you're literally drawing a box around a dangerous wreck. Both do the same thing. They mark off hazards, but that's not their real power. Okay, so here's the real magic. The true power here is that these aren't just static pictures on a screen. You can actually arm them. You can tell the ECDIS system to actively monitor these zones, and it will sound an alarm if you're about to enter one. And that changes everything. And here's what makes it so incredibly powerful. You can set a time limit. For example, you can tell the system, hey, warn me if my current course and speed will take me into a no-go area within the next 6 minutes. That's 6 minutes. That's precious, precious time for the officer on watch to react, to think, and to alter course long before danger is right on top of them. And that is what we mean by a virtual safety fence. You are building an invisible, intelligent barrier around your vessel that acts as this critical automated layer of defense against grounding. So how does this all come together in the real world? Because using these tools isn't just about knowing which buttons to press. It's about a professional mindset. It's really the captain's safety secret. And listen, I really can't stress this enough. The proper use of no-go areas isn't just some neat feature. It is an essential part of what we call good seamanship. It's a hallmark of a diligent, professional navigating officer. So why is that? Well, because it shows you're thinking ahead. It's a critical defense you build before you even start the voyage, back when you're doing your passage planning. It demonstrates a commitment to safety that port state control inspectors, the officials who inspect ships, they absolutely notice that stuff. It's a clear sign of a well-run ship. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when you master these tools, you're transforming the ECDIS from a simple digital map into an intelligent co-pilot. It's no longer just showing you where you are. It's actively helping you anticipate and avoid danger before it even becomes a threat. And that leaves me with one final thought for you. The sea has its virtual fences to keep these massive ships safe.
But what other invisible fences, what other digital guardrails and automated warnings are out there keeping our modern world running safely every single day? It's something to think about. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Krugman.